Chosen one. Take a moment to be still and recognize the significance of this moment. Your presence here is not the result of chance, coincidence, or another ordinary click through countless videos. You have been led here by the hand of God. The one who created heaven and earth has brought you to this message because he is preparing to move in a remarkable way within your life. You are standing at the doorway of a season marked by supernatural provision. A divine release of blessing has been spoken over your life and your spiritual inheritance for generations. Heaven is aligning with God's perfect timing, and his angels are carrying out his purpose on your behalf. This is your moment of awakening. Chosen one. It is a gentle invitation from the throne of God, calling you to embrace a destiny far greater than you have imagined. As Habakkuk 2:3 declares, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. It will surely come, it will not delay." That appointed season has now arrived. The abundance, provision, and opportunities that heaven has prepared for you are no longer distant hopes. They are drawing near, waiting for your faithful response. Prepare your heart. Beloved, what God is about to release into your life is not intended to bless you alone. He is shaping you into a channel through which his generosity, provision, and favor can flow to future generations. This is a calling that reaches beyond personal success and into eternal purpose. Chosen one. There is something you must fully understand. You did not discover this message by accident, nor were you simply passing time when these words appeared before you. This encounter was known in heaven long before today began. Before you opened your eyes this morning, the Father already knew this moment would come. Every step of your journey has been gently directed so that you would arrive here at this precise season, ready to receive the word he intended specifically for you. There is something moving in the spiritual realm right now. Anointed one, can you feel it? That stirring in your chest, that quickening in your spirit. That's not anxiety. That's not confusion. That's the Holy Spirit bearing witness with your spirit that you are standing at the edge of the greatest supernatural shift of your life. The wealth transfer that has been prophesied over your bloodline is no longer far off. It is here. It is now. And heaven is waiting for you to step forward and receive it. I remember a season in my own life when I felt stuck. I was doing everything right. Praying, believing, working hard. But nothing was moving. I watched others around me step into their destiny while I sat in what felt like a spiritual waiting room. I questioned God. I questioned myself. I wondered if I had missed my moment. But then one day I heard a whisper in my spirit. Your delay was not denial. Your waiting was preparation. And your moment is coming. Chosen one. That same word is for you today. Every delay you've experienced, every closed door, every moment when it felt like heaven was silent, it wasn't rejection, it was divine positioning. God was setting the stage for something so big, so undeniable that when it happens, no one will be able to take credit but him. You've been in the wilderness. Yes, but even in the wilderness, God was with you. Just as he led the Israelites through the desert to prepare them for the promised land, he has been leading you through your own season of refinement. And now, anointed one, you are about to cross over. The Jordan River is parting, the walls of Jericho are about to fall, and the abundance that heaven has reserved for you is about to flood into your life in ways you cannot yet comprehend. This is not wishful thinking. This is not motivational talk. This is a prophetic declaration over your life. You're entering your wealthy place. But here's what I've learned through my own journey. And this is critical. The moment before the breakthrough is often the hardest. The enemy knows what's coming. He sees the wealth, the influence, the anointing that's about to be released over your life. And so he will try one last time to make you doubt. He'll whisper that you're not ready, that you're not worthy, that you've made too many mistakes. He'll remind you of every failure, every setback, every disappointment. But I'm here to remind you of something greater. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by your calling, and your calling, chosen one, is to walk in abundance. Not just financial wealth, though that is part of it, but spiritual wealth, relational wealth, mental and emotional peace. You are called to live a life that reflects the glory of God, a life that makes the world look at you and say, "Surely the hand of the Lord is upon this one." So right now, I want you to make a decision. I want you to silence every voice of doubt, every whisper of fear, and every lie that says, "You're not enough." Speak out loud if you need to. I am chosen. I am anointed. I am ready to receive everything heaven has prepared for me. Say it again. Let it settle into your spirit. Because, anointed one, the moment you align your confession with heaven's declaration, the floodgates open. Chosen one, let me take you deeper into a truth that will revolutionize everything you believe about prosperity. The wealth you're seeking isn't something you need to chase down or beg heaven for. It's already woven into the very fabric of your identity. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, before your first breath, before your first thought, God encoded abundance into your spiritual DNA. You were never meant to struggle. You were never meant to barely survive. You were created to thrive, to overflow, to be a living testament of heaven's unlimited supply. I'll be honest with you. There was a time when I believed that wanting wealth made me unspiritual. I thought that desiring financial freedom somehow contradicted my faith. I watched religious people around me glorify poverty as if being broke was a badge of holiness. And for years I accepted lack as my portion. I convinced myself that God wanted me humble and that humility meant living small. But then something shifted. I began to see the truth in Scripture. Not in religion's interpretation, but in God's original design. Look at Abraham. Look at Solomon. Look at Job. These weren't men who apologized for their wealth. They weren't embarrassed by their abundance. They understood something that the modern church has forgotten. God delights in prospering his children, not so we can hoard it, not so we can live selfishly, but so we can become conduits of his provision to a broken world. Wealth in the hands of the righteous is a weapon against poverty, injustice, and lack. And you, anointed one, you are righteous. Not because you're perfect, none of us are, but because you've been chosen, set apart, and called for such a time as this. The wealth that's coming to you isn't just for you, it's for the schools you'll build, the communities you'll transform, the generations you'll impact. When God releases wealth into your hands, he's not just blessing you. He's positioning you as a distributor of his kingdom economy. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're looking at your current bank account, your current circumstances, your current reality, and you're wondering how this could possibly apply to you. You're thinking, this sounds good, but I'm barely making it. I've got bills. I can't pay debt. I can't escape. and dreams that feel impossibly far away. Chosen one. That's exactly why you're here. That's exactly why heaven orchestrated this divine appointment, because God specializes in the impossible. Let me tell you what I've witnessed in my own life. There have been moments when I had no logical reason to believe things would turn around. Moments when the numbers didn't add up, when the doors seemed permanently shut, when every natural indication said, give up. But in those exact moments, when I was at my lowest, when I had nothing left to offer but faith, that's when God moved. Not because I deserved it, not because I earned it, but because He is faithful to His promises. And here's the promise over your life right now. The season of barely making it is over. The season of scraping by, of living paycheck to paycheck, of watching others prosper while you struggle. That season is closing. A new era is opening. An era of supernatural provision. An era where resources chase you down. An era where opportunities that you didn't apply for suddenly land in your lap. An era where heaven itself conspires to elevate you beyond what you could ask or imagine. But, anointed one, you must partner with this shift. Faith without action is dead. You can't sit passively and expect the wealth transfer to happen while you do nothing. No. You must begin to move as if it's already yours. You must begin to speak as if it's already done. You must begin to position yourself as the billionaire, the influencer, the world changer that heaven has called you to be. Start making decisions from that place. Start carrying yourself with that authority. Start walking in the confidence of someone who knows their destiny is secure. Chosen one, there's a spiritual battle happening over your bloodline right now, and you need to recognize it. For generations, your family has bumped against an invisible ceiling, a limitation that kept them from the wealth, the peace, the abundance that God always intended. It wasn't just bad luck. It wasn't just poor timing. It was a spiritual assignment designed to keep your lineage small, struggling, and powerless. But I'm here to tell you with prophetic authority that assignment is being cancelled today. You are the generation breaker. You are the one who shatters the ceiling and steps into wealth your ancestors couldn't even imagine. Let me get personal with you for a moment. When I started understanding this truth, I went back and studied my own family tree. What I found shook me. My great-grandparents worked themselves to exhaustion, but died with nothing. My grandparents scrimped and saved their entire lives, yet barely survived. My parents did everything the world told them to do. Got the degrees, worked the jobs, followed the rules, and still lived paycheck to paycheck. One emergency away from disaster, and for years, I believed that was just how life worked. I thought financial struggle was normal. I thought barely getting by was my inheritance. But then something inside me shifted. I had a moment where the Spirit of God spoke so clearly it rattled my bones. What held them back will not hold you back. What stopped them will not stop you. Their ceiling is your floor. Anointed one. When I heard that, everything changed. I stopped accepting lack as my destiny. I stopped making peace with limitation. I stopped agreeing with the narrative that struggle was just part of my family's story. I made a decision in that moment that altered the trajectory of my entire bloodline. This curse ends with me. And that's the decision heaven is calling you to make right now. You must decide with finality and authority that the generational pattern of poverty stops here. The cycle of debt, the mindset of scarcity, the spirit of lack. It all ends with you. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are not chained to your family's financial history. You are a son, a daughter of the King of Kings, and you carry the authority to rewrite the entire narrative. Now, let me be very clear about something. Breaking generational curses doesn't mean disrespecting those who came before you. Your parents, your grandparents, they were warriors. They survived things you and I will never fully comprehend. They endured hardships, fought through impossibilities, and sacrificed everything so you could stand where you're standing today. You honor them not by repeating their struggles, but by stepping into the breakthrough they prayed for, but never got to see. Think about this. Chosen one. How many nights did your grandmother kneel beside her bed and cry out to God for a better future for her children? How many prayers did your parents whisper over you when you were too young to even remember? Those prayers didn't evaporate. They didn't get lost in the atmosphere. They've been accumulating in heaven, building momentum, gathering force. And now, in this appointed season, those prayers are being answered. You are the living, breathing fulfillment of intercessions spoken over your bloodline decades ago. You are the manifestation of promises declared before you were even conceived. But here's the weight of this calling. With the blessing comes the responsibility. You're not being elevated so you can hoard wealth and live selfishly. You're being promoted so you can become a conduit, a channel through which heaven floods resources into the earth. The wealth coming to you isn't just for your generation. It's generational wealth meant to flow to your children, your grandchildren, and bloodlines not yet born. When you steward this correctly, you don't just change your life. You redirect entire family trees. You become the hinge point where everything shifts from lack to abundance, from poverty to provision, from curse to blessing. Chosen one. I need you to hear this with absolute clarity, because this is the word heaven is releasing over your life right now. You are entering a season of supernatural acceleration. Everything that should have taken you years is going to happen in months. Breakthroughs that logically require decades are going to manifest in weeks. Doors that have been locked for generations are going to explode open overnight. This isn't gradual progress. This is divine acceleration that defies every natural law and human timeline. I know your logical mind is already trying to figure out how this could possibly work. You're looking at where you are and wondering how you could get to where God says you're going. But, anointed one, you must understand, God doesn't operate within time constraints the way you do. When He decides it's your moment, everything converges at once. Natural timelines become irrelevant. Linear progression gets thrown out completely. Think about Joseph. 13 brutal years in slavery and prison for crimes he didn't commit. Forgotten. Falsely accused. Seemingly abandoned by the very God who gave him the dreams. But then one conversation with Pharaoh, one divine appointment, and in a single day, he went from prisoner to prime minister. Everything stolen, every year lost, every dream that seemed dead. It all came back, multiplied in one explosive moment. Let me share something personal. There was a season when I spent years believing, declaring, working, and seeing almost nothing change. Years of watching everyone around me get promoted while I stayed stuck. I questioned everything. I wondered if I'd misheard God. I wondered if maybe the acceleration everyone else experienced just wasn't for me. But here's what I didn't know. God was working behind the scenes the entire time, arranging connections, positioning resources, dismantling obstacles, all in the invisible realm. Then suddenly everything erupted at once. Within weeks, God did what I couldn't accomplish in years. Opportunities I never applied for sought me out. Doors I wasn't knocking on swung open. Relationships that changed everything walked into my life without warning. And I realized my delay wasn't denial. It was strategic positioning for explosive acceleration. That's where you are. Chosen one. You've been in the hidden season where God has been setting things up behind the scenes. It has felt long. It has felt discouraging. But nothing has been forgotten. Every promise is still active. Every prophecy is still in motion. And now you're about to watch it all manifest at breathtaking speed. But acceleration seasons demand readiness. When things move slowly, you ease into change. But when God accelerates, you need to be spiritually and mentally prepared to receive at supernatural speed. You can't hesitate when the door opens. You can't shrink back when the blessing arrives bigger than you imagined. You must be bold enough to walk through and faithful enough to steward it. The waiting is over. Your acceleration has begun. Chosen one. We need to address something most prophetic voices avoid. But it's critical to your breakthrough. There is a war raging in the spiritual realm over the wealth about to be released into your hands. The enemy knows what's coming. He sees the transfer heaven has authorized. He recognizes that once you step into your billionaire potential, you won't just be blessed. You'll become dangerous to his kingdom. Wealthy believers who know their purpose are the most threatening force on earth. Let me be direct. The resistance you've been feeling isn't random. The attacks on your finances, your peace, your relationships, they're not coincidental. They're strategic. The enemy has been throwing everything at you to discourage you, distract you, and make you give up right before your moment. He's been whispering lies. You're not worthy. You've made too many mistakes. This will never happen for you. And if you're honest, anointed one, there have been moments when you almost believed him. I've been there. I've faced seasons where the spiritual warfare was so intense I could barely function. Nights when financial pressure crushed me. Days when I wanted to quit and accept that maybe wealth wasn't for me. The attacks came from everywhere. Unexpected bills, broken relationships, mental exhaustion, and the enemy kept whispering, "Say, you're not chosen. This prophetic word isn't for you." But here's what I learned in that fire. The intensity of the warfare is directly proportional to the magnitude of the breakthrough. The harder the enemy fights, the bigger the blessing he's trying to block. He doesn't waste energy on people who aren't a threat. The fact that you're under attack right now is proof you're about to step into something massive. And here's what will shift everything. The enemy has no legal right to stop what God has ordained. He can harass you, but he cannot halt your destiny. He can delay you, but he cannot destroy the plan. Every attack you faced has only been preparing you to steward the wealth with wisdom when it arrives. Think about Job. The enemy stripped away everything. Wealth, health, family, reputation. But Job held on. And when the warfare ended, God didn't just restore what was lost. He doubled it. Job's latter days were greater than his beginning. The wealth that came after the battle exceeded anything he had before. That's your story. Anointed one. What the enemy meant for evil, God is turning for good. Every tear has been collected. Every sacrifice recorded. And now heaven is releasing compensation. Not just restoration. Multiplication. You're receiving double for your trouble. Wealth that makes up for every year of lack. every season of struggle. Remain steadfast. Chosen one. This is not the time to retreat or surrender. The opposition may seem stronger than ever because the enemy recognizes that your season of breakthrough is drawing near. Stand your ground with confidence. Continue speaking God's promises over your life. Often, the greatest turning point comes at the very moment you refuse to give up. There is a truth you need to embrace. Even if it challenges you, you cannot fully walk into extraordinary abundance while holding on to a mindset shaped by limitation and lack. Your external reality is deeply connected to what you believe about yourself. The blessings God is preparing to entrust to you require more than financial increase. They require a renewed identity, transformed thinking, and a heart that is ready to carry greater responsibility. Simply receiving more resources is not enough if your perspective remains unchanged. Lasting abundance begins with inner transformation. Many people unknowingly delay their own breakthrough because, although they pray for favor, speak words of faith, and hope for greater opportunities, they still see themselves through the lens of fear, scarcity, and struggle. As a result, they hesitate when opportunities appear. They doubt themselves when new doors begin to open. Even when blessings arrive, they often pull back because deep within they question whether they are truly worthy of receiving what God has prepared for them. I remember a season that completely reshaped my understanding. I found myself attending an event surrounded by successful entrepreneurs and influential leaders, people whose achievements far exceeded my own. Looking around the room, I felt completely out of place. I avoided conversations, questioned my value, and quietly convinced myself that I did not belong among them. Then someone with remarkable success approached me, met my eyes, and shared words I have never forgotten. He said, "Your greatest obstacle is not a lack of ability. It is the belief that you are unqualified to stand where you have been invited. The day you begin seeing yourself differently is the day you stop feeling like a visitor and start walking as someone who truly belongs." Those words revealed an important lesson. Before your circumstances can fully change, your identity must be renewed. When you begin to see yourself the way God sees you, chosen, capable, and called you, become ready to embrace the opportunities, responsibilities, and blessings He has already prepared for your life. Those words destroyed me. Chosen one, because he was right. I had been carrying myself like someone visiting wealth instead of someone destined for it. That night I made a decision. I would no longer apologize for my calling. I would no longer shrink to make others comfortable. I looked in the mirror and declared, "I am not a beggar hoping for a blessing. I am a son of the King, and wealth is my inheritance. I don't chase money. Money chases me. I am not lucky. I am divinely favored." The moment I shifted my identity, everything around me began to shift. People treated me differently, not because I had more money, but because I carried myself differently. Opportunities showed up not because I was doing anything new, but because my energy changed. Wealth started flowing not because I hustled harder, but because I finally aligned with who heaven always said I was. This is what you must do now. Stop identifying with your current circumstances and start identifying with your divine calling. Stop introducing yourself based on struggle. Stop defining yourself by what you lack. You are not broke. You are not struggling. Those are temporary conditions, not permanent identities. You are a world changer, a wealth builder, a kingdom financier, someone heaven has invested in. anointed and appointed to carry influence and resources. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. That's not pride. That's truth. So speak this out loud right now. I am chosen for billionaire potential. I am anointed to carry generational wealth. I am appointed to steward kingdom resources. This is not hope. This is my identity. This is not a dream. This is my destiny. The moment your identity shifts, your reality has no choice but to follow. Chosen one, I need you to understand something that will radically shift how you pray, how you believe, and how you move forward. From this moment, the wealth transfer you've been asking for is not something that's going to happen in the future. It's already in motion, right now. In the spiritual realm, resources are being reallocated. Accounts are being shifted. Connections are being orchestrated. Doors are being unlocked. The transfer has already begun. You just haven't seen the physical manifestation yet. This is why faith is so critical. Faith isn't hoping that God will do something eventually. Faith is recognizing that God has already done it. And now you're simply waiting for the invisible to become visible. It's already released in heaven. Now it's breaking through into the earth realm, and your job isn't to beg for it or convince God to release it. Your job is to position yourself to receive what's already been allocated to you. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine someone wiring $1 million into your bank account right now. The transaction is complete on their end. The money has left their account. It's in transit. But it hasn't hit your account yet. What would you do? Would you panic and say, I don't have any money? Or would you operate with the confidence of someone who knows the deposit is on the way? You'd start making decisions based on what's coming, not based on what you currently see. That's where you are right now. Anointed one. Heaven has already released the transfer. Angels are already moving on your behalf. Divine appointments are already being arranged. The wealth is in transit. And you need to start operating like someone who knows the deposit is coming. Stop begging. Stop doubting. Stop acting like you're still waiting for God to make up his mind. He's already decided. The transfer is already authorized. Now you just need to prepare to receive it. I learned this principle the hard way. Years ago, I received a prophetic word that a significant financial blessing was coming. But months went by and I saw nothing. I started doubting. I started questioning whether I'd heard correctly. I went back to operating in lack, making decisions based on my current reality instead of the promise. And you know what happened? The blessing was delayed. Not because God changed his mind, but because I wasn't positioned to receive it. I was still thinking small, still operating in fear, still letting my current circumstances dictate my actions. But then I had a revelation. I realized that God doesn't lie. If he said it, it's already done. So I made a radical decision. I started acting like the blessing had already arrived. I started making decisions based on the promise, not the problem. I started carrying myself with the confidence of someone who knew wealth was on the way. And within weeks, everything shifted. The doors opened. The opportunities manifested. The money showed up, not because I worked harder, but because I aligned my actions with heaven's declaration. Chosen one. As we come to the close of this message, I need to leave you with something weighty, something that will anchor everything we've discussed. The wealth coming to you is not just a blessing, it's an assignment. You are not being promoted to billionaire potential so you can live comfortably and forget the world. You are being entrusted with kingdom resources because heaven has a mission that only you can fulfill. The wealth is the tool. Your assignment is the purpose. God doesn't randomly distribute abundance. He strategically positions resources in the hands of those he can trust to steward them according to his will. And the fact that you're reading this right now, the fact that your spirit has been stirred by every word, the fact that something inside you has been awakening, that's proof you've been chosen as a steward. Not just a consumer, you are being entrusted with wealth because heaven has seen your heart, tested your character, and deemed you faithful. But here's the truth that separates those who sustain wealth from those who lose it. You must know your assignment. You must be crystal clear on why heaven is releasing this into your hands. Is it to build that ministry? Is it to fund education in underserved communities? Is it to create businesses that employ thousands? Is it to be a silent financier of kingdom projects that will shift nations, whatever it is? You need to know it, own it, and walk in it with unshakable conviction. I remember when my first major financial breakthrough came, I was so overwhelmed with gratitude that I almost forgot to ask the most important question: God, what do you want me to do with this? And in that moment, he reminded me that every blessing carries responsibility. He didn't give me wealth so I could hoard it or waste it on things that don't matter. He gave it to me because there are people only I can reach, projects only I can fund, and assignments only I can complete. And the same is true for you. Anointed one, there are people waiting on your obedience. There are communities that will be transformed because you said yes to the wealth and the assignment that comes with it. There are generations not yet born who will walk in freedom because you chose to steward this blessing with integrity and purpose. So, as you step into this new season, I want you to ask yourself, what is my assignment? What has God been whispering to my heart that I've been too afraid to pursue because I didn't have the resources? What vision have I been carrying that seemed impossible until now? Write it down, pray over it, and begin to move toward it with the confidence that heaven is backing you. This is not the end. Chosen one, this is the beginning. The wealth is coming. The doors are opening. The transfer is in motion. And you, yes, you are about to step into a dimension of influence, impact, and abundance that will leave a mark on eternity. So, I leave you with this. Don't shrink back. Don't second-guess yourself. Don't let fear or doubt steal what heaven has already released. Walk boldly into your billionaire potential. Embrace your divine assignment and become the vessel of transformation that heaven created you to be. The breakthrough is here. The wealth is yours. The assignment is clear. Now go and fulfill it. You have been chosen. You have been anointed. You have been prepared for this moment. Chosen one. As this message comes to an end, take a moment to recognize what has taken place within your spirit. You are not leaving this encounter as the same person who arrived. Something has shifted deep inside you. Something has been released. Something God has awakened within you can no longer be silenced or forgotten. The divine transfer we have been speaking about is not simply a future promise. It has already begun. Heaven has given its approval. Angels are carrying out God's purpose. Doors that once seemed impossible are already beginning to open. You have entered your appointed season, a sacred moment when what was hidden begins to appear, and what was promised starts becoming reality. I declare over your life that every chain of financial lack is being broken. Every generational barrier is losing its power. Every opportunity the enemy attempted to block is being opened by the mighty hand of God. You are moving into the place of provision He has prepared for you. You are stepping into the fullness of your God-given potential and becoming the instrument through which His blessings will reach many others. Do not allow fear to make you retreat. Do not question what your spirit has recognized during this message. That deep stirring within you, the renewed sense of purpose, the fire that has been ignited in your heart, these are reminders that God is calling you to move forward in faith. Embrace that calling. Walk faithfully in it. Steward every opportunity with humility and integrity, and trust that heaven will guide and strengthen every step you take. If these words have spoken to your heart, share this message with someone who needs the same encouragement. Leave a comment declaring, "I am chosen. I am prepared. I receive God's purpose for my life." Let your faith be expressed with confidence and gratitude. Chosen one, your season of breakthrough has begun. God's provision is already moving on your behalf. Your purpose has become clearer than ever before. Now step forward with courage. Remain faithful to His leading, and walk boldly into everything He has prepared for you. The greatest chapters of your journey are still ahead. May God richly bless you.